You want to take a hit? It's mango flavored.
I don't know, I heard those things were pretty bad for you. Plus, I don't even really like mango.
Come on, just try it. You'll regret it if you don't.
That was awful.
You'll get used to it.
I know you think juuling is safe, or better for you than what the other kids are doing these days.
Can we just get one thing straight? I don't think it is.
It doesn't matter what you think, because your actions proved otherwise. Many young adults don't even realize the damage they're doing to their bodies.
How bad could it be though? They're literally just flavored water vapor.
That is where you're wrong, my friend. Do you actually know what's inside a Juul? The Juul is made up of two components, the battery and temperature regulation system and that mango pod you're sucking on, which isn't mango at all. It's actually straight up nicotine, glycerol, and propylene glycol, benzoic acid, and a collection of chemical flavorants to make something resembling the flavor the pod advertises.
So not real mango?
No, not at all.
But it's not the same nicotine that's in cigarettes, right? So I won't get as addicted.
That is very wrong. In fact, the nicotine content in a Juul is twice the amount that in any other e-cigarette. And that little flash drive you're sucking on has a staggering 5% nicotine content.
Is that a lot?
Yes, that's a lot. You see, nicotine is a very powerful chemical that affects nearly every part of your body. Nicotine is both a sedative and a stimulant, so when your body is exposed to it, you experience a sort of kick, as the nicotine stimulates your adrenal glands and causes the release of adrenaline.
But I don't feel hyped up after. I just feel chilled out, zen.
This is because nicotine indirectly causes the release of dopamine in the pleasure and motivation centers of your brain. Depending on how much nicotine you're ingesting, it can also act as a sedative and make you feel relaxed, or, as you kids say, zen.
Okay, so it either makes you hyper or chill afterwards. Sounds kinda dope. What are the negative effects you're talking about?
You kids probably know that nicotine is one of the most addictive substances out there. In fact, studies have shown that nicotine is almost as hard to quit as heroin or cocaine.
Heroin?
And cocaine. That flash drive you're sucking on is about as hard to put down as a needle or a crack pipe would be.
But I tried it, and I'm not even feeling like I can't quit. I don't even really want to do it again.
That may be true, having this been your first exposure, but I've noticed your friend over here reach for it 3 times since we've been talking. How would you feel if I took it away for a couple of days?
No, you can't. Stop. It's my Juul. I need it.
You see, you don't want to become that reliant on it, now do you?
Okay, so what if I'm reliant on it? It's not a big deal, and addiction isn't hurting me too much.
That's what the e-cigarette industry wants you to think. Why don't we break down what actually happens when you take a hit off a Juul? Starting in the mouth, the Juul's chemicals affect your saliva right away. One study showed that after just a 15-minute Juul session, there were increased levels of DNA-damaging compounds found in the saliva, including formaldehyde, acrolein, and methylglyoxal. All of these compounds increase the risk of developing cancer.
But I thought the point of Juuls was that they don't cause cancer like cigarettes do.
They may not cause lung cancer like cigarettes do, but that doesn't mean your lungs or respiratory system are safe at all. In order to create that sweet mango flavor, Juul manufacturers are using flavoring compounds like diacetyl, acetoin, and 2,3-pentadione, which studies have shown are capable of destroying your respiratory system and contributing to health problems like bronchiolitis. They also seem to be capable of embedding themselves in your lungs, which causes inflammation, increases your mucus production, and leaves your lungs extremely vulnerable to infection. You might not develop lung cancer, but you could develop a lot worse.
Yikes, I had no idea.
Me neither. If I get cancer from this stupid flash drive, it would break my mother's heart.
Actually, you're really breaking yours. The effects of juuling don't stop in your respiratory system. It affects your cardiovascular system as well.
There's
more?
We talked about the effects of nicotine earlier, and if you thought those were bad, it only gets worse. Nicotine increases your heart rate and blood pressure, and it's a risk factor for developing heart disease. Additionally, one study found that juuling narrows your arteries by 30% and decreases your blood vessels' ability to widen. That means you can't even properly pump blood through your body. And what's more, juuling can actually stiffen the aorta, which, if you don't know, is kind of essential for supplying oxygenated blood to the circulatory system. When you develop aortic stiffness, it's an early warning sign of cardiac and vascular-related diseases such as atherosclerosis, stroke, and aneurysm.
Okay, but you mean if we develop aortic stiffness, not when.
Nope. If young adults like you continue to practice the behaviors you are now, it's only a matter of time before your cardiovascular system starts to collapse. Then you'll really be breaking a heart.
Oh God, oh no, I shouldn't have taken that hit. And you shouldn't have pressured me to. I didn't know!
What's important is that now you do. That flash drive doesn't look so appealing now does it?
No.
I know now all the things that'll happen if I don't quit, but I'm still clearly finding it hard to.
No!
Luckily, if you stop while you're still young, you can avoid most of these effects. See, young adults who juul are 4 times more likely to start using cigarettes, tobacco, or drugs in the future. Stopping now is in your best interest.
I feel like no one knows about this.
Well, like, no one knew about the dangers of smoking for a long time either.
This is true, but at the rate we're going, in the coming decades, the vape and juul industry might be one of the most profitable industries in the world. And your generation is going to be taking a huge step backwards by growing up to be so nicotine reliant, and perhaps even increase the use of tobacco or cigarettes, simply because the juul is an incredibly addictive and dangerous gateway drug. No matter what your friends or the e-cigarette industry tells you, juuling affects more than just your brain. You might feel a little more chilled out, but is that worth every health problem I just told you about?
You know, I already feel, like, disgusted. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm gonna quit right now.
You know, it's gonna be hard, right?
It'll be harder to deal with all those effects later.
I'm very happy to hear this, kids. Now, put down the juul and go back to school.